Hi everybody, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you're new here. So guys, today's video, well before that I'm going to add a little bit of disclaimers. You guys can see I popped this cyst on my chin. It still hasn't healed over because this is being filmed on Friday morning. So it's not really healed. It's only 24 hours old. Alright guys, I've been meaning to make this video since my original YouTube channel, which was like almost 4 years ago. And I haven't been able to. So today's video, guys, is going to be a little bit of a story time about my aunt. And I'm sorry about all the story times I'm making lately, guys. It's just, I have so many videos to make and to go through for you guys. There's like so much. Anyway, guys, my aunt did get sick 4 years ago and pass away. But this story time, oh, guys, by the way, guys, this video is going up Monday, which is the anniversary of her passing. Be 4 years. So I figured I would make a cute story dedication to her. And also, guys, not to focus on her passing, but to focus on my aunt in my life. So, guys, to go back, my aunt was my mother's last remaining sister. So she shared a lot of the same qualities as my mother, like looked the same, had the same facial features, was my mom's full sister. So they had a lot of like similarities. My other aunt, so they got a little shaky. I don't know my baby hand out through one. Anyway, guys, my aunt and my mother shared a lot of similarities, like very similar similarities and stuff. And my other aunt had already passed away when I was 13. So this was the aunt I was definitely closer to because she lived to be the longest out of, lived the oldest out of the three women in the family, three sisters and all. So anyway, guys, I'm going to start back at the beginning. My aunt was at the house when my mother had gotten her scans and stuff like that with me. Now, if you guys know from other stories, I was a, quote, air quote, normal pregnancy. Up until about the last month or so of my mother's pregnancy, I was a regular pregnancy. I was on time. I was hitting all my milestones early, even some of them, like the form of the baby and all that stuff, guys. So no one suspected me to be premature like my brother, and not as early as I was born. And it's severe. And anyway, guys, my mom found out my gender properly by a doctor more than once. I actually was told I was a boy at first. So I did a boy's name, you know, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, guys, about a month before I was born or so, guys, I don't think it's going to be about 2 weeks or so, they found out that the scan was wrong. And the doctor told my mother she was, in fact, the technician told my mother, in fact, she was having a girl. So my mom was like, okay, well, this is, you know, I kind of suspect this. My mom actually told people in the beginning, guys, that I was a girl, though the doctor kept telling her I was a boy. It was a boy, it was a boy, it was a boy, it was a boy. Well, last time, guys, with my brother, with Derek, they told my parents he was a girl, he was a girl, he was a girl, he was a girl. Anyway, my mother's friend who lived next door to us at the time when I was born held up my brother's ultrasound and said, that is a boy, it's clear as day, I can see his willy. Clear as day. Like, clear as day. I can see it. Anyway, guys, I'm here to then well, same thing happened with me. The same friend held up the scan to the light and told my mother, that is a girl. I can see her rotating on hearts. Like, I can clearly see it's a girl. And my parents were like, well, yeah, we kind of think it's a girl, though the doctor keeps saying it's a boy. But guys, the story about how my aunt comes into it is, my mother found out the correct gender and had the time correct name. So my mom had called my aunt and said, I want to tell you, we know the gender, we have the name. She said, don't tell me over the phone, come in person. So my mom came and told my aunt and my grandma, my nana, and my uncle's girlfriend at the time, who he was long-time girlfriend he was with until right before my mother died. She died as well. But anyway, guys, so my original name was Constance Mary, and I think it was even Jenny at one point, so that name did not fly with my grandma. She was like, no, because she said the name seemed like people named Mary tend to get taken advantage of. And my mother agreed with her because it was my grandmother's name. My grandmother was like me, where a lot of people took advantage of her. So anyway, we kind of fit that. So my parents decided to change my name at the time to Gina Ann, which still does not fit. But anyway, guys, on further, my aunt was actually the one in the delivery room with my mother when I was born. Because of my special condition of my birth with the umbilical cord and all my, as you guys hear some of the videos, I was born with severe disabilities and stuff. Then my aunt was the one that was in, you guys know, in the room, actually more delight. Anyway, guys, my aunt was the one who was in the room with my mother because it was supposed to be her baby shower. So my aunt and grandma were there coaching my mother through everything. Like, literally, my birth, everything else, holding my mother's hand, getting them, getting my family ready, trying to contact my father. Our neighbor had my brother at the time, so we were just trying to figure things out. So my aunt was there basically for all my big firsts. My aunt was there. She was one of the first people who got to hold me, though I was in special, I was on special machines and stuff, guys. I was on a breathing machine. I was on a feeding machine. That's actually why I'm disabled. Is you guys know, so my feeding tube got shoved. My aunt was there, and she said, well, you know what? She's just going to be unique. My aunt was the kind of person, guys, who did not judge you for being disabled. My aunt was there with all my firsts, with my coma and all. My aunt kept saying, God's not ready for her. She's going to be fine. Same thing with my blood transfusion. Because my aunt was like, no. Carrying Ann's going to be fine. Because God would not give you guys this beautiful baby and to take her this soon. Especially after the boys. No. God's not going to do this. After my cousins passed, my parents got really weird. My aunt was also there for that. My parents for that, as it was a family tragedy. But anyway, guys, moving along, my aunt was there for my first day of kindergarten. My aunt was there for my first day of preschool. My aunt was there for so much. When my aunt had a heart attack when I was 5 or 7, guys, really young, I made her a card, went in this here, and everybody else was, convinced that she was going home to God. And I was like, no, you ain't. You're not going. No way. I went over and whispered something in her ear, and my mom did not hear me. And nobody else could hear me because I was trying to use my pitch lighter, guys. I'm sorry, shaking him. Anyway, guys, so that nobody else can hear me but the person that wants to hear me. I told her that Jesus wasn't ready for her yet, and she still had some things to do. Well, anyway, guys, as I got older, my aunt seemed to get better at points, and she got sick again when I was 12. I went to a soccer game, guys. I was in a soccer team when I was younger, back when I was a little more tomboyish, and I actually won. My team won. And I went to go see my aunt in the hospital. At this point, once again, I went over it and I told her that God wasn't ready for her yet and that she needs to stay here a little longer. I wasn't ready for her to go home to God yet. Hey, guys, my aunt was my main, other person, my main other mother in my life. She was kind and loving because she was my mother, but my mother was more and my mother was a little different than my aunt, but my aunt was still the main mother figure in my life after my mother had passed away. So guys, I'm a little bit ahead of myself. My aunt helped me get ready for dances because, my mother, oh, by the way, guys, my aunt did not have MS. My aunt was not in a wheelchair, thank you God, she was not. But my mother was, so she would have to help me get the dresses and stuff. My mother was not, put my mother down. My mother, I'm not saying to put my mother down, guys. My mother was not physically strong enough to pull up the dress because my mother was in a wheelchair. Towards the end. Anyway, so my aunt was there for me at my first school dances, and I got ready with my aunt. She'd put my makeup on. She'd help me with my cousins and help me put my dresses on, guys. And she even gave me some earrings. So I had a problem with my ears were pierced. You have to save them to when you got your ears pierced. And aunt gave me bracelets and necklaces and stuff, guys. And my aunt was a single mother. I'm sorry I said at the beginning. My aunt was a single mother who was a single teen mom. So I'm not saying that the glorified thing, but my aunt who had children very young, so my parents were always, they don't always help, but they would come and babysit for her and stuff because my aunt had 4 children and her husband left. But we're not going to say it's not a bad time. So guys, my aunt was the main woman in my life who helped me out. Then my mother died, of course. And I believe that she didn't deserve to go the way she did. But I'm jumping way too far into the future, guys. Anyway, so say by prom and stuff. I just called my aunt up and I talked to her a lot, and I wasn't ready for her to go, and I always thought, so guys, let you guys know, I've had 7 or 8 really bad times in my life. When my mother died, when I thought my mother was going to die from a heart attack, when my aunt died, which is the day that we're going to talk 2 days later, the day that my father, I thought I was going to lose my father, which was the scariest day of my life, guys. My dad had those gold butter. The day my dad cut his leg, burned his leg, and it blew up 5 times his natural size, and I thought he was going to die. It was one of the scariest days of my life. The day I fell and nearly fractured my wrist and hand, which my lifelong injury, and the day I fractured my ankle, nearly fractured my ankle and foot. The day I discovered I had a cyst on my spine and I could no longer walk well and had to be in a wheelchair in the hospital. The fire that nearly took my life. So there's a reason, guys, that I've not had the greatest experiences with life so far, guys. But back to my aunt. And my aunt helped me get ready for prom. She was a beautiful girl. And she cried saying my gown was the most beautiful. By the way, guys, my aunt helped me out Been a little bit of each one of my proms, I believe, with graduation, guys, or high school graduation, middle school graduation. My aunt was there. My aunt helped me get through, you know, one of the worst days of my natural life. Anyway, guys, a little further ahead, my aunt was there for my 8th grade graduation. She gave me a necklace and stuff, which I unfortunately lost in the fire. It was a costume necklace, guys, but it meant the world to me as my aunt had gave it to me. But she always said, quote my aunt, I'm not saying her name for privacy reasons. Her name is pretty common. I probably could say it, but for privacy reasons, I'm not saying her name. So anyway, she used to tell me, you know, that, honey, you lost everything in that fire, but you know what? You didn't lose the most valuable thing to me in that whole house. You and Daddy. The most valuable thing to me in that whole house was my niece and my brother-in-law. The man has been like a brother to me. And anything else in that house burns down, she'll let it be. But as long as you guys get out, if you love Missy and Molly, my cat, so much, then then you gotta save them too. But other than that, you and your father are the most valuable things to me. My father was up here in this house, so I was the most valuable thing to my aunt in that fire. My aunt is the person that I was able to turn to, and she resembled my mother. Like I said, so much. It was almost uncanny if I didn't know they were sisters. So guys, my aunt being alive was like a part of my mother. Still here with me, though. God has long caught her home. And this is just the saddest part of it is I really don't have much people I can lean on now. But anyway, guys, my aunt was there for me in 8th grade graduation. She helped, I'm in 12th grade. No, my cousin helped do my hair for 8th grade graduation. I went to dance there in school. It was great. High school, my aunt actually helped me get ready for all 3 proms I went to. She helped me get into my dress. The senior year, guys, I needed my aunt and like 3 cousins to help me get into that dress. I took us like 4 or 5 of us to get me into that dress because I couldn't get into that dress. And she said the dress was almost as gorgeous as me because I picked it on my own with the sadness of, you know, losing my mother, so I didn't have her help me get to prom. My aunt paid for my hair. My aunt paid to get my nails done, and she paid to get me waxed because I had to wax it. Why pop my cyst? So guys, losing my aunt was one of the hardest and scariest days of my life that I can still look back on and think, why? And the worst thing about it, guys, is I was told my aunt was actually saying she was holding on to say goodbye to me because we made it a little bit too long, so I'm going to slow it down. My aunt said that towards the end, guys, my aunt was in the hospital, so I didn't take it too seriously at the end when they said that she was getting sick. So I was like, you know what? I wasn't even told, guys. I would have came if I would have known, but where was I at? I was on a date with Charlie. Guys, I kid you not. I was on a date, and this is the saddest part about it. This is the thing that I have to live with for the rest of my life. This is my natural life where I have memories and stuff. The day that my aunt, last day she was conscious on this earth, I was on a date with a boy. And it's something I'll live the rest of my life. Anyway, guys, my aunt used to tell me that I heard my mother, and I saw her favorite ice cream in the shop, that was probably her. I heard her favorite song come on the radio. It was probably her. Not by her, but like her spirit there, telling me that she is still here and she's out of pain and she can walk now. My mother couldn't walk, guys. But anyway, guys, when my aunt died, I was on a date, like I said. And I'm a little bit like, we don't really tell before the story because it makes me feel like a real jerk. Guys, I chose to be at the mall, which I didn't know my aunt was this sick. I was at the mall with Charlie. I didn't know my aunt was sick, guys. I didn't know it was this serious. I was on a date with Charlie. Me and Charles were hanging out. We were walking around. We decided to get back to his house, like I said, to meet his mother because we thought we were getting serious. Like we were going to get married. And we thought we were getting serious. So I thought, go meet his mom, right? Watching Harry Potter. Like I said in my X's and O's video where Derek, we use the name from my brother, called. And guys, I mean, I was with Charles and I was with Dad. So I looked and my brother and said, how are you doing? I was like, yeah, I want to date with Charles. He's like, I'll call you back later on, but there's something that you really need to know. I think you deserve to hear it from somebody. I don't want you to read it on Facebook. Were you on Facebook about an hour ago? Like, no, I'm on a date with Charlie. I haven't. And that's when he told me that my aunt had passed away. Now, guys, actually, she did not. Anyway, she was really sick and she was passing away. But anyway, guys, it's okay. Because she's in heaven with Jesus and Aslan and Reaper Chief, as I always say, guides the gates to Aslan's country and only lets the kindest of souls in. My aunt was like that for a few more days, guys, and I went to work while my aunt was dying. And, well, guys, I'm a little bit like, woo, don't know if I want to tell a sort of story. Like a jerk. Anyway, guys, as I was telling the story about, oh, guys, I forgot a part. One time I ate at my aunt's house rather than going home, and my aunt and mother had ordered pizza, and I had said that I love to eat with my aunt because I missed her and she said she wanted my company. So my mom was kind of mad that I like ate with my aunt, ate the pizza my aunt ordered and not come home. So my mom brought 2 slices of pizza over to my aunt that could confiscate her for the 2 pieces that I ate. And they had a lovely night together, guys. And that was actually the story that I told while my aunt's heart stopped and she went to heaven. But guys, that was the scariest day, one of my whole scariest days of my life. I cried for a week, guys. I wasn't myself. I threw myself around the floor. I was like, this is not good, guys. I think a lot of people said because I didn't process my mother's death properly, that I was processing it through my aunt. Because a lot of stories I have to tell about my aunt included my mother as well. So a lot of people said that I was like re-mourning. Anyway, guys, this video is getting a little bit too long. But anyway, guys, my aunt's funeral. I showed up with my boyfriend. I introduced him to everybody. Said we were planning on possibly getting married, and we would have a good life together. Because that is actually what gave my aunt closure in the end when she realized that I wasn't coming and God was calling her. Was that she was happy to hear that I was happy. And guys, I will forever feel guilty that I didn't go. But you know what, guys? I got the luxury of not seeing my aunt dying like everybody else did. But guys, this video was not to be sad. This video was meant to be happy as... Also, guys, I got to see my aunt at a couple baby shower stuff where my brother was supposed to come with the kids and wasn't able to. But, guys, I'm going to let you guys go because it's a little bit too long. But remember to my next uploaded video. Remember, Carrie loves you all. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, and tell me down below if this has ever happened to you guys. I love you all. Goodbye.